Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of Scott Loves Christian Music. Today I'm going to be taking a large leap back probably about 32 years. 1990 was the album that probably changed my life. It was Petra, Beyond Belief. Now, I was at Christopher Lake Bible Camp, Baptist Camp, and all I remember was what I was hearing coming from the kitchen after lunch during chores, and it was the song I Am on the Rock. It was incredible. And then I heard one of the camp staff there, actually I think she was a camp staff there, Christine Sombrowski. She was singing along to it, and I was just like, wow, this is such a good song. And she was somebody I looked up to, so I'm like, I need to look into this. And they listened to it all the time in the kitchen, and I loved it. I went home from camp that year, went to Western Book, and bought the cassette of Petra Beyond Belief, and I probably wore that out. The three things that I purchased at Western Book, probably the next three things, I guess, were the Petra Beyond Belief cassette, the Petra Beyond Belief music book, and the CD of Petra Beyond Belief. It was definitely life-changing. The lyrics were incredible, and so we're looking forward to talking about that in just a few moments. So, first off, we want to say if you like what you're seeing, then share it with a friend. Subscribe and like so that we can know that you're liking it and that we will keep on making videos. Not doing this for the money, but we're just wanting to encourage people with Christian music. And unfortunately, I can't play it for you, but it's pretty easy for you to look it up, and maybe I'll figure a way of putting a link in the description coming up later on as we figure things out a little bit more. So, we do want to say thank you to everyone that has been following us and listening and enjoying the videos. We're going to try and go through this quickly. I'm trying to keep it to about 15 minutes or less, but when you're a radio guy, talking is something that comes easily, and it can end up making things a little longer. Okay, 1990, Beyond Belief. Now, the album before was when John Schlitt took over. Greg X. Voles was the lead singer for, I think, the previous 10 years. I may be off on some of my details, but I did appreciate them before. My Auntie Mary was huge into Petra and loved the stuff from the 80s. And not sure exactly why Greg X. Voles left the band, but he had some great songs. His lyrics were very solid. I know Bob Hartman was a huge part of the writing process as well, and he is solid. Then John Schlitt comes out of the woodwork and becomes the lead singer, and to me, it changed the band's approach to music. It came a little heavier. It was definitely different, but they were still very, very good. And I think that's where I started to really like them. I did get the album Petra, This Means War afterwards and listened to it, and it was pretty good. It's definitely different, though, with John Schlitt as the lead singer. But hearing this album from Petra was just incredible. I've always really enjoyed singers that can sing really high, and John Schlitt can do that. And it was just awesome to hear all these songs, and they're very almost anthemic, really solidifying things. And so starting it off, Armed and Dangerous. Our enemies, God's enemies will tremble, the darkness will crumble. Like, it's pretty bold when you're thinking about it. And I'm pretty sure this is where a lot of my faith and strength came from, is from these songs that just reminded me. Song number 2, I Am on the Rock. That one was pretty anthemic. almost prophetic for me being on the rock radio station. I Am on the Rock. Had felt like I should have that as a splitter somewhere, but never ended up working. But song number 3 is probably one of the most important songs to me, and it's called The Creed, or Creed. And basically, I believe in God the Father, maker of heaven and earth, is the way it starts. And it just basically allows you to sing a lot of the things that we believe. And it's a powerful song. It starts slow and builds into something really strong and powerful. And I really, really enjoy that song by Petra. Now, number 4 is Beyond Belief. I almost forgot. But that was the one that I loved first. That one, once you got the album, you kind of realized, wow, this is a good song. And I mean, it is a little bit dated, but it's still one of those albums that I can go back to at any point and really enjoy it. And Beyond Belief, that song has kind of stood the test of time. You talk to many people and they realize that could be one of the greatest songs of all time. Right up there with He Reigns by the Newsboys in my book. Then song number 5 was a song that was different. They ended both sides of the cassettes with slower songs, and they're almost kind of worshipful. And I know that when it came to that song, it was called Love, and it's based a lot on 1 Corinthians 13, which is the love chapter pretty much. And it's just awesome. It's a slow song. And it does talk a lot about the things that happen in that chapter in 1 Corinthians 13. And it's nice. It's a great mix inside with the rest of the songs. And then when I grew up, it would change over at the end of the album and move on to track number 6 on the album, on the CD. So if you're on the CD, it would have been track number 6. And I can't remember exactly which song it is. I would probably be able to sing along with it. But a lot of the songs on that back half were just as powerful. I know Last Days was a great song. Really, all of them pretty important. And one song that we actually, as a family, have kind of sort of adopted as one of those songs we sing at the end of the day is What's in a Name? And the chorus is, what's in a name that the demons flee? What's in the name, or what's in a name that the captives go free? What's in a name that every knee should bow? In the name of Jesus, name above all names, there is power and glory forever and ever. Forever and ever. And it's one of those things that when you hear your kids singing that, it was pretty powerful. And they don't always love the 1990s sound of Petra, but they do appreciate the music when I listen to it. But it's a great song in the end there. And then the final one is My Prayer. And that one is, again, a slower song, more meaningful, but it's definitely a powerful one. And it's one that I think I've used as well, just to be praying for myself. And I think that it's just a reminder that prayer is an important thing as a part of a Christian in their life. So another song you want to think about. So it's pretty awesome. I listened to the album Unseen Power next after that, and it was a good one for me as well. And I think those are the two that really stood out to me as the most important in my life when it came to Petra. But Beyond Belief, by far, one of the best, if not the best album I've ever heard in my Christian life. So definitely one that a lot of people like, especially if you're a Petra fan. But I also have noticed that there's different Petra fans of different generations that love different parts of them, and so it's pretty awesome. Funny story I'll finish with is I work with a great guy named Randy Atkinson, and one day we were at work, and he asked me, "Do you know John Schlitt?" And I'm like, do I know John Schlitt? Of course I do. Petra is probably one of my biggest fans, or sorry, I was a huge fan of Petra growing up. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Because he was the lead singer of one of my favorite bands back in the day. And he found out that he was with a band called Head East. And things kind of changed in his life. And he almost gave up his life and then found Jesus, changed his life around, and that's when he became part of Petra, and it changed his life and saved his life. And so it was pretty cool to hear this story. Then the next year, we had a chance to see a band called Union of Sinners and Saints at this music festival called No Greater Love. And John Schlitt was the lead singer of this band. And so he was going to be at the festival. So I got a chance to find out how to get John Schlitt to do an interview ahead of the festival. And I surprised Randy on the air with John Schlitt. And it was priceless. I would love to be able to do stuff for Randy because he's an incredible guy. And when he started talking to him, I think it was kind of strange because it brought two worlds together. Him being a fan of this band Head East, and he wasn't able to go to the concert to meet John Schlitt, but I was able to. Got some pictures, and he sent some records for him to be autographed. So I got them autographed, and he was pretty happy about that. And so that's one of my favorite moments when it comes to John Schlitt, Petra, and that. But if Bob Hartman ever hears about this, I would love to chat with him because his lyrics in these songs are just powerful and have had a huge impact on me and my Christian faith. So thank you again for listening. Gracie is off in the sunbeam somewhere, so I can't really show her as she likes to share her Gracie's pick of the week, but I have a feeling that she wanted to do something from Ann Wilson. And again, my memory kind of comes and goes, so I don't remember exactly what it was that Ann Wilson does. I think it might be My Jesus. And so if you're wanting to hear from Ann Wilson, I think that's what Gracie was going to be picking for her Gracie's pick of the week here on Scott Loves Christian Music. So once again, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and like this video because we'd love to make more, and we're just encouraged by you that want to give it a listen. So thank you again. I'm Scott Fitzsimmons. Have yourself a wonderful day and be blessed.